Described as Disney's answer to Star Wars, with an interesting film development, its known scientific inaccuracies, being one of Disney's biggest flops. Dark and gloomy is what the critics call it. Now on Disney Plus Remastered, we're about to delve into the flawed but great cult film, The Black Hole.
Black hole.
Black hole. The black hole of the lens. Yep. Guys, so you're going to see this being a little bit of a two-parter in that we're going to be here, which is a different studio, which is you could tell by the child pictures in the background. It's my studio. It's my place.
It's not my child.
And we're going to have second part of this video be at his place. Different studio.
You have no pictures of children.
So two Geek Monty HQs. We're going to get into it.
Originally pitched as a sort of disaster movie set in space, like the Poseidon Adventure, Tower Inferno, which was hallmarks of those great 70s movies back in the days.
Hold on. Okay. I feel like I should be a little bit taller than him. What do you guys think? I don't know why we're on equal level. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Dwayne, welcome to my world. Okay, so.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
As you were saying.
Yeah, professionalism as always. It was originally called Space Station 1. After several years of development hell, it ended up becoming The Black Hole. John Barry scored it, who's famous for the Bond theme and other James Bond movies. And you can hear it in the soundtrack. It's beautiful.
Beautiful soundtrack. I mean, that's the one thing that I think if you watch this, guys, I mean, it's a cult anyway.
Yeah.
But the soundtrack was incredible in the intro. Oh, that sort of score, that operatic kind of score, amazing.
You can feel that Bond-esque to it. You really do. You really feel that. Yes. And initially they wanted Industrial Light and Magic to help with special effects, but they were busy at that point. So the film came out in 1978, so just a year after Star Wars, so heavily influenced, but they were busy with probably Empire Strikes Back and other films. So Disney developed
Just imagine them sort of saying like, getting a call, is Disney on the phone? No. You know what, guys? Yeah, we're kind of busy right now. We've got this cool project over here. Oh, that's a space project? Yes.
George is like, I don't think, no, busy. So Disney developed their own special effects house called Ace Automatic Camera Effects Systems. And they still use matte drawings and paintings and such. Originally, concept was to be complete weightlessness, but that was proven hard to do. Released at the same month as Star Trek, the motion picture. So yes. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Now we get to the stage of the plot, which is really quite interesting. So you have what was meant to be a disaster film, but then you have the black hole of the film. That was meant to be the disaster element. And that's what it ended up sort of being. And so you had these astronauts who embarked on a deep space mission to gain better understanding of deep space and bring the information back to Earth. So on the way back, they found the black hole. But they also found a ship that had gone missing many years, 20 years actually, earlier. And that ship was Cygnus. And so the Palomino, their ship, tried to go close to it, but they realized that the Cygnus was somehow stationary right next to the black hole, or not that far from the black hole, which didn't make sense because typically black holes take everything in, gravity, nothing can escape. Light, everything. So their ship ended up being damaged because of the attempt to move past the black hole, and then they had to like board with the Cygnus, and that's where the whole story, sort of the whole craziness begins.
You have all these great moments in these films, and we're going to say, like, they have these sort of philosophical debates as well.
Yes.
There's like meaning, and so like, why is Reynard, how did he survive? Where's the crew? What happened to the crew? Kate is got ESP, which is psychic.
psychic ability with Vincent the robot.
and other people, and it's quite interesting. That was like, oh, you can communicate with a robot. That was like a really cool concept, which I
That was actually, and so when you hear a Disney adventure, right, you think, oh, okay, this is just gonna be like a kids show, but like, no, it took some very quite heavy philosophical kind of ideas and concepts, even though the science wasn't particularly accurate. But the nature of the human relationships and the like existential kind of nature of being.
Because when you see Renard, the ship is full of drones, and they're wondering what happens. Spoiler alert, it's the crew. He kind of lobotomizes them.
Yeah, this is the part that if you watch the trailer, it's kind of it's amazing in that there's a certain cosmic horror to it.
Yeah. This is going to be a kid. This is what I was thinking. This is like,
and it's definitely not that entirely for kids. But yeah, there is a cosmic horror to it, and there's that element of the crew that he claimed went back home. And he doesn't know what happened to them, but then in actual fact, he enslaved them because of his sort of madness of wanting to enter this black hole. He wanted to be the first to enter the black hole and see why God made the black hole.
Yeah, or whatever it is on the other side.
Or whatever it is on the other side, and be the first human being to do it. And so that drove him mad in his attempt. And so he built all of these robots and went...
Just drones and stuff.
And
the revelation that is... the old crew.
But I would say also to the nature of like some of the drones. I mean, the famous one that he had as his
big boss,
the big one, Maximilian. Which is funny because he's called Maximilian, and he's a very ominous. The actor's called Maximilian, but then the character of that robot, his sentry, his main right hand, number 2, ended up being called Maximilian. And a very ominous looking robot, and actually quite scary looking.
Yeah, it's quite scary. Which the fact is, spoiler alert, Anthony Perkins' character gets killed, being shredded inside. And I watched this the other day, and I was like, whoa, hold a sec. This is Disney. Like, didn't see any blood or anything. But clearly...
So, because of that, there was 1 or 2 hells, and there was one or 2 dams used in a language.
This is 1970.
And this was 1979. The film was given a PG, parental guidance rating, which was the first for Disney.
They wanted to make it not completely for kids and have a slight edge to it. And you can see over the years, especially the last few decades, Disney's gone more towards 12, 15 rating.
They wanted to, and during that point, they wanted to kind of talk to teenagers and the young teens and sort of that demographic, as opposed to just like your kid Disney, typical stuff,
typical Disney.
Right.
And you see it with the battles and now when they do escape, they're going into the black hole and there's an asteroid field going into them. Suddenly, there's no mention of an asteroid field or anything nearby. Suddenly this asteroid field comes through. It smashes into the ship and it starts rolling down like Indiana Jones type of thing, rolling down.
It's a trailer shot. You see it in the trailer. It's a bolt, like a massive asteroid boulder sort of coming down part of the ship's fuselage. And it's an incredible shot.
It's a great shot.
It's a great shot.
But you see them running away from it. You're in space. Surely you should be shot out into...
Dude, you're talking about... This is a fictional film, isn't it?
Hence why it was known for its inaccuracy in scientific. So there's a couple of things like some characters get shot out and you should be dead, but no, you still survive. It's interesting. As a kid, you don't think about these things. Years later, you kind of realise, and when they do go through the black hole.
I will say, just before that, you get your little Star Wars moment. You get your little sort of swashbuckling battle. and the whole laser guns and against the sentries. It was, it's a fun little moment, but I think at that moment it kind of lost part of its. I wasn't really interested in that moment. All the philosophy and the sort of existential type conversations and meanings and ideas were way better. So you got that moment. You got your little Star Wars moment with, again, the great score by John Barry. Beautiful. So then now they're in peril, and the amount of them has dwindled because either they've been killed or had battles and stuff, so forth. So now they're forced to have to go into the film's title, The Black Hole. Yeah. And because of that, even Reinhardt with Maximilian goes in and just a whole bunch of bizarres. This for me, this is the part that becomes a little bit like, the influence of 2001, Space Odyssey. This part is definitely not Disney inspired.
Yeah, I mean, there's a touch because the Captain Holland's left, Lieutenant Price is gone, Dr. Cates up there, and Vincent. They managed to get through escape pod. So you got the ship kind of crumbling. Reyna and Maximilian kind of like end up symbolically merging, and what you see is this landscape
because they are. So the one thing they fed into this film, which wasn't necessarily apparent at first when you watched it, but when you go back to it, you'll find out was quite a lot of religious overtone to it. And you get this moment where we don't know what's going to happen to them in the black hole. We don't know what the interpretation of this black hole will be. So yeah, Reinhardt gets kind of knocked away from the ship and is left as a dying man on his ship, as the captain of his ship, sort of thing. And then he somehow, as Jay says, symbolically fuses with Maximilian, the robot, which Vincent, took care of earlier. And then,
which was pretty cool. It was a live moment.
Right. Which was a great moment, a great kind of like standoff between them, and conflict and all of those good things. But then you have this moment where they fused, and then we're invited to see where they end up. And my gosh, if there wasn't a religious overtone to it, if this isn't made obvious, I don't know what is. Essentially, it was like
hell,
a version of Dante's hell.
Yeah, you see Reinhardt's eyes trapped in Maximilian, and it pans out, and you see all the other drones in this hellscape.
We don't even know if it's drones, but they are sort of vagueness of faces, and they're all hooded, kind of like
similar to
the way in which he kept his ship.
Yeah.
And then you see his worrying eyes.
Yeah.
He's
terrified
eyes within the actual robot, and then it sort of pans out to this big escape of this hellish sight, and it's quite amazing. At that point, I knew this film was great. Just knew it.
And it kind of stops there, and then you see the others. You see them going through almost this cathedral light tunnel path,
which was
beautiful. With this sort of angelic, which could have been in I think the story.
The angelic was an angel, dude. It was an angel. Like it was straight up. So we've been given our version of Reinhardt's sort of hell. He's at the bottom of Dante's hell, and then we're given this cathedral as a sort of contrast to that. We're given this sort of cathedral tunneling type effect, and then at the end of it, like an angel-like apparition or
something, and it's pushed. So in the novel, the novelization by Alan Dean Foster, who was written.
This was later.
Yeah, they said it could have been her because she had psychic abilities pushed her through. There's different versions, different ideas. That's a really cool sci-fi sort of.
That's an interesting idea.
That's like sort of X-Men Phoenix kind of thing going there. And pushing it through, and when they go to the other side,
they met on the other side with another planet and a massive sort of sun behind it. Yeah. So this massive eclipse style thing, and then you see the small little ship they're on drifting towards it, And it's just, what a great way to end. Firstly, what a great way to end, guys.
Kind of like
Look, he's put down his book. He finally doesn't need his notes.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a bit like Space Odyssey, kind of like that sort of.
Except for the Star Baby moment, you definitely have that moment to kind of allow the imagination to run wild. And so because of those religious themes, because of the, like I said, stated before, you know, they looked at it like a little bit with anxiety. The whole film, the film was looked at like, oh, I don't know now, it's not exactly as Star Wars. And it's like, no, it's true.
No.
might have been produced by Disney, but
Oscar. Yes, I bet you have.
it's maybe closer akin to the film that year that came out, Star Trek. But even then, I would say it's sort of...
Because there was Star Trek, the motion picture.
The motion picture, correct. Yeah.
Which in itself, not really my favourite of the Star Trek films, but held deep philosophical discussions.
Yes.
Same with this one. And the debates they had and everything else. So I think... Definitely not a children's film, but probably like a early teen film, and definitely an adult film, because when you look at it as an adult, because when I saw it, like all I really remember is the robot and everything else. I can't remember any of the other stuff.
Being Disney, they also tried to make it sort of have its merchandise, which failed. Just absolutely failed. Quite miserably, because Maximilian and Vincent, they tried to make into like a toy of some sort.
Maximilian was actually based on the creature from the concept was inspired by, shall I say, by the creature from Fantasia.
Okay.
So Fantasia.
It's weird where they get their influences from. Another thing I would like to know would be this film. Even though it's not been said in any of the research I could find, is that it's kind of like a precursor to 1997's Event Horizon by Paul Wes Anderson. And the events in this film kind of mirrored that film to some level, even to the extent that there's this element of hell. So I'm pretty certain the writers of Event Horizon probably had this film and just thought, let's see if we can make it even more adult. Where can we go with it? Because it's just the similarities are just too much, right?
After I watched The Black Hole, I initially did think of it Horizon. Some horrible scenes. Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne, brilliant cast. But there's elements, and I was like, there's so much. There is so much there, and there's so much similarities. So a much more adult take. Concept.
100%. 100%. No one can't tell me there isn't someone who was influenced by this film, by Black Hole, that wrote Event Horizon or made it. So you have that, and then you have the fact that, as we suggested, that it was possibly a flop, but actually it ended up making its money, which was 20 million, but 6 million included for marketing, so about 26-ish million. It ended up making its money back. It done okay domestically. It just didn't do so well internationally. That was one of the things about it.
They expected Star Wars, which was
a mega success. It was a phenomenon. Yeah. They couldn't match that.
Yeah, but it's become this little gem in a lot of the sci-fi community. Especially a lot older sci-fi community.
Not the actual scientists, because Neil deGrasse Tyson was on record as saying he despised it because of its scientific inaccuracy, but I don't care about him. It's still a great film.
He's a massive nerd, but he's very true to form. Guys, when you get a chance, it's on Disney Plus, so you can watch it.
Check it out.
Yeah, check it out. It's a nice, it's an interesting Sunday afternoon film.
Absolutely, 100%.
And
watch it,
and it will probably give young kids something to think about. Have some intellectual.
Young kids. So you trying to influence? It is a PG, and it's pretty tame by today's standards. By today's standards, it's super tame. Yeah. So obviously, kids can watch it, I believe. But I think it has a special place in our hearts, and that's why we wanted to cover it. It is way more than what you think it is. When you hear Disney attached to it, you think you're going to get some sort of race to Witch Mountain, and it will just be like some nice casual affair. No. It's a little more deeper than that. It may be flawed, but like we said, it's a masterpiece.
So guys, thank you so much. Glad you enjoyed our second episode of the...
He forgot.
Yeah,
he forgot. Our second episode. Let's go again.
So guys, that's the end of episode 2 of Retro Bytes. We love this little segment we put into the Geek Monty, and then just looking back at these great films. So enjoy it. Let us know what you think. Thank you.
Take care, guys. We'll see you in the next one.